This summer, we've been saying why not to new adventures. And as I have always wanted to camp in a classic campervan, I've put excuses aside to drive this beautiful 1974 VW Type 2 transporter through the southwest to Slapton Sands Club Site. Camping incorporates so many people from so many different walks of life, from van lifers to caravanners to motorhomers to tenters, backpackers, bike packers, and so many more. In fact, when the Camping and Caravanning Club first started back in 1901, it mostly incorporated the latter, and it was known as the Association of Cycle Campers. But as I was planning to travel quite a distance on this road trip, it gave me the perfect opportunity to drive this vintage vehicle. The VW van is an iconic cultural gem that evokes a longing for the open road. Original sketches for the VW Type 2 transporter were drawn up in 1947, and the first one rolled off a production line a few years later. 75 years on, the family of vehicles has become one with the world of camping. Which is why it made a perfect partner for a drive down to South Devon. Slapton Sands overlooks the English Channel. It's got fantastic views, easy access to the village of Slapton, and its lovely local pub, the Queen's Arms. You can also visit nearby B Sands to try the seafood pancake at the Cricket Inn. Club site manager Angie Cartwright loves being based here.
We are literally just a couple of moments from the coast path here at Slapton, and the site has some wonderful views over the coast. Yesterday we spent our day off walking the coast path from Garrow Rock to East Portsmouth and found this lovely little beach called Sunny Cove, quite secluded, and it's a beautiful sandy cove, perfect for a wonderful day out.
After setting up our pitch and enjoying some games, it was time to explore with my family. Dartmouth is stunning and only a few miles away. I loved driving this classic van around country lanes and especially across Slapton Lee near the club site. The bay window offered great visibility of the freshwater lake on one side and the ocean on the other. But it's not just my family that enjoy these iconic camper vans.
I mean, for me, it's a real big family thing, you know. The Volkswagen scene's so accommodating for all the family. I've been a massive Volkswagen fan since a boy and worked my way up through Beetles and Bays and now on to Macy, my Split. It's just a great family atmosphere, you know. The way they drive, you know, they put a smile on your face when you drive them. They put a smile on other people's faces. They're easy to maintain. You just got to look after with general servicing, you know.
The Type 2 grew in popularity and VW began exporting them around the world as fire trucks, taxis, ambulances, work delivery trucks, buses, and of course, camper vans.
This car combines everything in one vehicle. So you have a transporter, you have a people mover, you have a camper van. So you can do 3 in one vehicle, you can go everywhere. It is not too big for a daily ride, but it's big enough to camp in it with up to 4 people, for example. So it gives you a huge freedom when you're traveling and you don't think about what can I do, because you know you can go everywhere. The original idea was just to have a transporter. So it started out with a panel van, and from that point it becomes a success, and then it turned into a people mover and afterwards into a camper van.
These camper vans went everywhere. They were sent over the other side of the world, to Australia.
Found Cecil $400 and he was a bit of a mess. He'd been a taxi for the first 25 years of his life. He had just rows of seats. He didn't have the roof. He wasn't ever a camper van originally. He was a minibus. So he had windows all the way around, but he just had rows of seats. And he used to do the airport run from Canberra to Sydney and back with 3 different drivers. So he already had 800,000 kilometres on the clock when I found him.
Yeah.
And I spent 6 months working on him, rebuilt the engine, lifted the suspension a little bit, made a few other little modifications because I wanted to go on a circumnavigation of Australia and up through the middle. And the vast majority of well, I call them roads in the loosest possible sense. Yeah, it was an awful lot of off-roading, and bless him, he somehow managed to do all that. And it was actually, my plan was to sell him at the car auctions in Sydney and then fly home, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Yeah. And just down the hill from the car auctions was the docks, and I just saw this container ship, and I just thought, oh, I wonder. So I went and asked, and they said $1,200 and you can have a 20-foot container, put your van in it. So I quickly sold my ticket, a flight home ticket, and put Cecil in a container and sent him back to Felixstowe.
You didn't just find them in Germany and Australia. Americans flew over to Europe to collect them and drive them back to the United States.
Behind me is my 1960 VW van, left-hand drive, imported from California, called Gwenny. I think I was drawn to VWs, maybe subconsciously, the hippie movement. Like it's a nice aesthetic, isn't it? They've got a good following in that sort of area. I think they got the following because they're kind of a democratic car. They're easy to fix. There's parts everywhere because they were made in such large numbers, and they stood the test of time. They're still a lot of rotted out, sure, but you know, there's a lot still going, and there's a lot of people making parts for them still. So yeah, I think that's partly why they got such a following. I mean, I've always been into engines and fixing vehicles. You know, we always had motorbikes and buggies and quad bikes and stuff like that. So yeah, it's partly as a project, partly as, you know, another challenge, but also, yeah, we used to love going down to Croyd surfing, and it all just sort of fit the bill, really.
The VW campervan's popularity among surfing communities is partly what made them so popular in places like Croyd and Newquay and here in Slapton, as well as other areas around the southwest. Britain was starting to see the appeal of these VW vans. They were appearing on club sites more and more, and they were even being marketed properly in the UK as campervans. The club set up the motor caravan section in 1962, and people like Peter Pitt of Canterbury started converting them. Another converter was Devon Campers, and that's where this vehicle that we're driving originally came from. Today, you can hire it from Freebird Campers, which is part of the club's motorhome hire scheme. The southwest has 11 club sites, from Linton in North Devon to Bude, Tregurian, Senan Cove and Verrian in Cornwall, to Tavistock, California Cross, Slapton Sands and Dartmouth in South Devon, plus Charmouth and Moreton going into Dorset. This fantastic offering is why you see so many classic VW campervans at our club sites in the region. So many manufacturers have tried to recreate the magic of this multi-purpose vehicle, but the original still holds space today. And with the new T7 driving the brand into the future, well, VW looks set for another 75 years of incredible camping.